But I have to say that was the top tier. But the fucking second funniest thing was when Byakuya solos every fucking captain,
does.
and including Shunsui and Ukitake, and Yamamoto is just like, fuck, man, that guy is going to take over because he is holding the fort down.
What is up? Welcome to Bleach Boys. We're back, continuing through the Reigai arc. We did 5 more episodes. I would say it's safe to say it's picking up a little bit.
Yeah.
Hopefully. So
they did this cool thing where it got good for a second and then it was just mediocre again.
I feel like we joked about it last time, and I'm hoping this is the case, that it's kind of going to be the reverse of the Zanpakuto Rebellion arc, where they put all of the really shit stuff in the front loaded. And it's going to be really, really good all the way through.
It's kind of like Samurai 8, you know?
Yeah.
Yes,
they
just
needed
like
to do all the exposition really early on. And normally you would only get 5 volumes and they cut you. But it's Bleach, so they're just filling for time and they're just going to keep going. Because holy shit, I like those. What did we watch? 10 episodes. We're 15 in now.
Yeah.
So we've watched the 10. Past the first 10 are absolute garbage.
I would like to say we normally try and go as long as we can. Like if we can fit it like 7
6
episodes.
or 7,
Sam hard cuts at 5. It doesn't matter where the fuck we're at. It's just fucking.
They're
5.
so bad. I just like. It's just exhausting. It's
very much
exhausting to watch, and it's like the first 10. It was just like a lot of. Oh, what is this? Why is this happening? Oh, well, this is happening because, like, we know that. We know that.
We know
Mirror
everyone's on
matches.
Pucktoes at this time.
Yep.
I have to say, and we're getting the new endings where it's the 10-year anniversary. What the fuck was going through their mind at the anime studio? It's like, hey, we're at the 10th anniversary. We made a shit arc. Like, really?
Well, this will make people happy. Let's just, sneak it in there.
And I always say this. I can't tell. Maybe you guys can just, like, shit down on it. But did the animation get slightly better for some fights? Like, the Komamura fight versus Soi Fon, like, it seemed like they actually put effort in.
At the beginning of it was really good. Yeah.
I mean, if it's like anything like modern-day anime industry, they assign cuts to certain people. So it's like that's why it could just look infinitely better on some parts. Where it's like it kind of hops back and forth from being, oh, wow, to being, oh.
The guy with the broken wrist came in for the talking parts. Yeah.
So I think that could be potentially why, but the animation is definitely better, but that's also just because we're in like the newer parts of Bleach, like like the end of the actual Arankar saga was better as well. It's like we're just in the better parts of it now, so they're like, oh, we're actually doing new animation techniques instead of just being the same old bullshit.
I would say they peaked at the part where what's his face ate the soul candy. That tongue. The tongue situation was the most.
It's so fucking really big and really long out of nowhere.
And his face was like gaunt and like really gross looking. It's like I don't like looking at him. Get him off screen.
But Mayuri was fucking dope as fucking that big.
Yeah, they seem to be like giving the kind of like the close-up face shots, and then they draw them really creepily. It's just like, reaction shots. Like, we're going to put a lot of detail in this to make him look really
tons of shit.
Tons of shading. Look at his face.
It's like, doesn't he look fucking creepy? But then it's like, it'll go to action shots. Like, oh, he looks kind of good. Like, he looks kind of chilling. It's like, it's just, it's like taking a picture. It's like, you look good on some angles. Other angles, you're like, ooh.
Yeah, you just can't find your good side. You got to find your good side, guys.
Yeah, so we got the, pretty much the finale of all of the fights. And I don't even know how you would, we haven't seen this arc before, but like the first Soul Society kind of big battle thing.
Yeah.
Is it even considered the first one's really the second one? Because they had the first invasion and they came back, and then the captains.
Well, they kicked him out, and then they're like, hey, we'll hang out for a little bit. And it's like, oh, you guys are bad.
So it's really the second one that we got the conclusion of.
I think we're going to get a third one.
Byakuya hard carry. So I would say the tier list of carrying, and there's only really 2 people that can even count under the carrying list, is Yoruichi and Byakuya.
What about Yamamoto?
I mean, he did his own thing. That's about it.
Yamamoto? He seemed like he was just stalling for time. I don't know what the fuck his problem was.
I feel like if he really wanted to fuck, he could have ended some shit.
Oh my god, easily.
It's just one of those things again where it doesn't make sense. He's not bonkaiing. It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't. But just take him out.
Well, what was it like for 2 seconds? We all thought, oh shit, he's about to use a new technique, and then it's like, oh, it's the big.
Oh yeah, it's like when he like touched the ground and you just see.
If he would just simply like, he doesn't even have to go the badass one where he brings back the dead people. Just sheathe himself in the fire. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, exactly.
Or just
they
the
can't
fucking
touch him.
blade where it's like you literally defy physics.
Yeah,
and everything
it's just
disappears.
like it's like, oh yeah, I'm literally so hot you can't touch me. What are you guys gonna do? it's like choose your game plan. Neither one of you guys that showed up are ranged. Go ahead,
get a bucket.
They at least tried to make the fight look cool.
Yeah,
yeah.
It looked cool, like whenever people were getting kicked away and shit. But it was like, and then fucking Shunsui just kept throwing wind into fire. It was like, are you stupid? Is like, do I have to tell you how that works?
So when he did that the first time against Stark, it was like, oh, that was kind of cool. Like it's the lazy top situation. when he threw it at fucking Yamamoto the first time, it just went around him.
Just
and he's
fanned
just
the
like,
flames, dude.
That's cool, dude. That's cool.
And he's
so
like, oh, well, did you not know I could just, fire hits wind, it goes bigger.
Yeah.
It's like, isn't that going to be
if
cool?
he had watched the scenes where they were doing the fucking chakra exposition for Naruto, he
Yeah.
would have known wind makes fire better. And it's like, fuck, man.
You missed that class clearly because he was just not figuring that out.
So stupid.
And it's like, it just... I could swear, and this might be my memory going wrong. So they basically talk about, we get the reveal that their mod souls are involved here.
Yes.
And the guy, Kageroza, is the guy who created the mod souls, supposedly. And basically he's able to create as many copies of them as possible as long as he just goes back and gets the mod soul things. I'm pretty sure someone stepped on some of them, didn't they?
My girl.
Yeah, Nemu got fucking blacked.
okay.
And then there was one other person. I didn't see who it was.
I did fucking Byakuya not like rip fucking Hitsugaya.
Double tap does not exist in this fucking universe.
Like, why are they leaving them? And
I think Nemu is the only double tapper.
I know for a fact that some of them, like, they commented on, like, oh, what's that? It's like,
everyone's like, oh, that's
they
weird.
were just.
But I thought it was weird because I thought they were fucking picking them up and like collecting. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna.
It would
make
be
an anal
smart,
bead
right?
sheet.
Yeah,
this is some
but
bullshit.
it's evidence. Like, if they're
is.
trying to figure out what's happening, it's evidence.
Yeah, I mean, if your body's hurting, just eat one of those.
You got.
Well,
like,
they
get a
didn't know
new
that.
one.
They didn't know that
Okay.
apparently you create a second body.
Let's
when
not
you,
talk about that.
When you take a mod soul,
Oh,
like,
Lord.
what the fuck was that?
Isana
That's
just
not
got
how a
screwed
mod
over.
soul works.
Yeah, I don't tell fucking Pythes
Well,
about
it's
this
like
entire
that doesn't
series
make
of
any
episodes.
sense because why is Ichigo leaving his body before he does?
Yeah.
Like,
But his is green.
So no. When we do this, it creates a soul version of his body. It creates two, and then because they're soul reapers, they just become physical forms of themselves. I don't.
it
fucking
just makes
know,
no
mate.
sense. It's like you can just dupe
Well,
yourself. You can just infinitely dupe.
I gotta say though, the whole like him being the mod soul creator, kind of cool. That's cool. Like that. What did that actually mean? Because I'm almost certain that
Well,
we
I don't
knew the
think we've gotten
Reigai.
the full story yet. So they're still kind of hinting at it.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing, basically, we get this weird, awkward situation with Cone and the girl, and she is basically like, oh. Cone is like, oh, I can understand why you're mad at me now, like why you don't like me because I'm created by the main bad guy and you hate the main bad guy and da 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 da. And her rebuttal is like, no, he didn't create you. I'm the first one created. That doesn't exclusively rule out Cone. Like,
Well, like what the fuck? Did she make
like
Cone?
that makes no sense.
Yeah.
And it's like they cut around that scene so much where they like kind of show like her in the tube and then an explosion.
There's someone
and it's
else
like,
next to that
well,
tube.
what are we getting here?
It's
Is like
gonna be her eggs.
Oh,
Are the mod souls.
yes, of course.
Oh
You are my
God.
child,
Sam,
Cone.
Sam.
Yeah.
Total random memory, right? You said Josh changed. He used to be funny. What if this is
come
mod
on.
soul Josh?
That's a possibility. That's
I
a
have the
possibility.
context.
Yeah. What happened to regular Josh? What do we think happened?
We
to
don't
him?
know. Like he took.
He's like the captains who lost in this in the batch of
Exactly.
episodes. We don't know where they went.
You know what?
Yeah.
He's in Wacko Mundo, and
Yeah.
he's like the dude with the shield. With
Yeah.
the shield.
Someone's doing a really long
Oh.
con right with this mod.
Could you
I don't know.
imagine me coming back as a Chad? Fucking like, I've been in the fucking Menos
Whoa,
forest
whoa,
this whole
Josh,
time.
how'd you become 6'5"?
It's like, okay, well, nice to have you back, I guess. It's like, didn't notice. Oh, you guys didn't notice? No.
I exclusively use my sword as any cutlery and utensils.
But yeah, I think they're cutting out the backstory on purpose, like for some big.
We still
fucking
have the
reveal later.
weird dude in the
Oh,
fucking.
yeah,
Oh,
we know
yeah.
There's some weird dude that fucking Kageroza's like gay for, trying to figure that out.
He's in the chair.
We
he's
know
got in
Kageroza
chair.
was fucked over by Central 46.
Yeah,
as always.
they just
Yes.
mentioned it.
And
Which was
that's-
one of the few times they actually made a good call.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
It's like, oh wow, they're off
Yeah.
screen this time.
It was even I think it was Yoruichi explicitly explained like they were correct this time to do
Yeah.
that because it's wrong to take over dead bodies.
Yeah, I also love when the main bad guy is not even the one explaining the
Yeah.
like the thing. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, everyone knows the backstory to this.
Yeah.
How do we
Somehow
not know this was the
Jushiro knew
guy?
it.
Yeah, he's just like, oh, I heard about this whole thing.
I remember this. I should have been alive during this whole thing.
They all should
Exactly.
have remembered it. It seems like it should have been a really big
yeah, right?
deal.
Because Urahara is the one who created the research.
It's
and
like they were
development.
basically on the brink of creating an undead army, and like, oh, we forgot.
That was fucked,
It's
right?
like,
You know what
We
happened?
forgot about
Yamamoto
that.
was
Yeah.
like, only I can do that.
It's like,
oh, that's why he put in a good word to 46.
yeah,
He's
it's
like,
like,
guys,
listen, he's kind of copying my powers,
Yeah,
so we're
that's
gonna have
not
to
cool,
kind of
mate.
nix that. But then, he really though, but Yamamoto could have been double dipping. You know, he's
Oh,
like, you send the
true.
monsters out first, then he collects.
Exactly. After everything is dead, he's
Dude.
just like, my turn.
Yeah,
and then he throws the gangster fucking coat.
kind of like
over
what
himself.
Kageroza did now, except he's doubled his army. He's like, oh, you think
Yeah.
you defeated him? I bring them back to life. Get fucked.
And I hate that he can just go like. So they had Nemu in a test tube, and he's like, "Oh, I'm working on fixing him up."
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we saw that turn to dust.
Yeah.
How are you doing that, mate? So
I
he
imagine
just
he's
got the
making
data?
a new one.
That's
Yeah, he
what I
has the
would
data,
think.
and he's making a new one.
And he has the eggs still.
Yes,
He's
of
just
course.
got, like,
Yeah.
Yes.
He's got the correct sperm
Fertilizing.
donor. And
Yeah.
He's got the whole thing set up, and he's just really in the lab setting that up.
What was your favorite part? Mine was when he spins the sword and everyone just breaks their fucking bracelet and is 20 times fucking stronger.
You knew it had to be something like that. We talked about it last time. I was like, what's the deal with the bracelets? It doesn't make any sense.
I thought it was like
Limiters, boys.
literally
limiters.
during the fights where it was like mirrors, which was just what they wanted to go with the entire time. We had the eyes glowing. During the fights where we clearly knew that there was no mirrors, that these were just the bad guys. They had the lights glowing in the eyes the whole time. I thought, oh, it's just going to be like a combination. Like, this is how he controls them. No, it's let me break it off. It's a limiter. But I have to say, that was the top tier. But the fucking second funniest thing was when Byakuya solos every fucking captain,
he does.
and including Shunsui and Ukitake, and Yamamoto is just like, fuck, man, that guy is going to take over because he is holding the fort down.
Yeah, really, he did take over big time. Like, so we get the Yoruichi, Soi Fon, Hitsugaya, and Kenpachi. They take on Kageroza.
Yep.
And Byakuya basically holds off every other captain
And literally
ever.
just says, I got this, mate.
He's just like, I'll just do something. I'll figure it out. And, like, I did really like the 4v1 jumping. I thought that was really good.
They finally
was
worked
well
together.
done.
Yeah.
They used the same blood effect four times.
That being said, though, that is very anti-Kenpachi. Very
Yes.
anti-Kenpachi to work together like that. Because he was very quick, Hitsugaya and Kenpachi being the first ones there, very quick to be like, okay, let's work together.
So it was even that the other funny part was when Hitsugaya walked up completely glack to fuck, and he's just like, I'm gonna fight the main bad guy. and then
he opens the portal, gets slashed. He's like, ugh.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you should be fucking dead.
Well, to be fair to them, a lot of them like, oh, he's just a dumb scientist. Like, I found the scientist. I'm gonna go kill him.
Yeah, I like how every time Kenpachi's like, oh, this is a stupid fucking trick, and then gets glacked every time. It's like, well, idiot.
Well, he likes the fighting straight on. You know, it is like a tricky, like a
he got mirrors, bitch.
Yeah, like I'm positioning you where I want you to be and fucking with you. So it is like a tricky, and it's like, oh, if you go too hard, I'm just gonna throw you into the fucking other world.
Yeah.
Best of luck. Hate to see that.
I didn't know that we could see Hitsugaya's Shikai for so long too.
Yeah.
I was very impressed.
Yeah.
He had one move.
Well, I do feel like almost all of the fights are basically how long can we fight without going Bankai, which is just weird. It's just
It's even weirder for this where everyone's supposed to be hyper aggressive.
Yeah.
Like the Komamura Soi Fon fight.
Oh my god, that fight.
What the fuck was that?
he should not have been anywhere close in that fight.
She should have killed him right away.
She should. Yeah,
she's too fast.
I've seen her go.
Yeah.
Just literally to Aizen.
And he was blocking like like crosses in front of his face the whole time.
So
easy.
They put in a weird stipulation in them. I think they wrote it for themselves because she would have killed him immediately. Apparently, is it Shunko? You can't use your Shikai during this time because after the fact, then she goes Shikai because she fucking hits him 7 times.
So the only thing I can think of is either A, that is the rule, and she for some reason can't use her Shikai in Shunko form, or B, Komamura was like, oh, I can just read where you're going when you're using your Shikai because like I can like tell where you're aiming on your one hand.
Still got fucking hit.
So then she was like, fine, I'll just beat the shit out of you, and then she was like, I'm gonna knock you out and then do it.
But then all of a sudden he's just like, no, and summons a sword
what would have
down.
happened had he just summoned the sword inside of her? You know.
Okay.
Because he did it above her and then went down. Like, what if
Thank you.
What if he just did like?
Because it didn't. He formed it.
Yeah.
It went like slow fade down.
It would have just ripped her apart, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Is that allowed? Is he allowed to do that? Like, surely that's a good game plan if we're just cutting people in two.
They didn't want to animate.
If
that.
it was a legit fight, yeah. I think it
because it didn't make any sense for it to be like the long animation. Then she's like, "Oh, I let my guard down." It's like,
oh no!
Not only I have let my guard down, I am going to eat the fuck out of this attack, and then I'm not going to be able to stand and try and get in doggy position.
I did like that it was kind of a draw because, like, at the very least, that is a bad matchup for Komamura. We should at least acknowledge that, like, he should not have won that at all.
But he was cocky the whole time. He's just like, I've already won this fight. It's like, no, you didn't.
It's just it's a bad matchup, and he's somehow coming out on top, and it makes no sense, and he should have died.
But I'm happy because I'm getting tired of the fact that we've literally thrown captains' bodies at each other, and they're just like, you know, these fights are 5 seconds. And it's like, this should be fucking, and it should be massive. I did like the little subtle flex from Soi Fon when she uses her fucking nuke, and it's like, hey, Yamamoto, I know you got a big fire pillar over there. Kind of took over like the whole fucking
that
other
little
half.
Inner spectrum of Soul Society got fucked on. Like, I don't know why they're all fighting over there. And apparently there's just a bamboo forest in the middle of that then, apparently.
Yeah,
because
that's
where,
added to the fucking fight.
You gotta have
that's
gardens.
where Soi Fon and Komamura started.
If you have such a nice-ass castle building place, you want to have some nice greenery, right, guys?
I'm just going to say it's whoever animated it was a beautifully animated fight.
Yeah, it was.
They decided, I want a bamboo fucking situation.
Yeah, like Soi Fon was like bouncing off of the bamboo and stuff. It was
they're like,
damn.
hey guys, here's my strong
and
suit.
Komamura was still just slowly turning and going, bleh. As she's literally ricocheting off the bamboo. It's like, okay.
And he fucking completely gutted her.
Yeah.
And he's like, damn, okay. Yeah. This girl can fucking take it.
And then she kicked the shit out of him.
He
ate a big one.
He's shit.
Yeah.
He's
He's shit.
He's not the best.
Yeah. And then he's sitting there. I forgot that he was trained by Yamamoto. It's like,
he didn't do a good job.
Yeah, I feel like Yamamoto
did a better job with Kenpachi. And you got him how to use two hands.
Literally.
Like, fucking hell.
What the fuck? If I was Yamamoto, I'd be like, man, like, I know it's
he's
cool. It's like nice
right
to
now
meet
he's
you again.
50-50, so, you know.
And Byakuya is just powerful as fuck, right? Like, he's just going around glacking everybody.
Apparently they just do fucking...
He took Hitsugaya and himself, like...
and then still
in a
goes
row.
and fights.
He's just all bloody. He's like, oh, you know what? There could only be one Kuchiki clan leader.
It's like, I sense another disturbance in the force. I gotta kill another of me.
And I think the funniest... No, God, there's so many good fucking funny parts. It's when the limiters are removed and the other Byakuya is like, well, bitch. And he's like, oh, fuck, you actually got me this time. I don't think I can do
going
this.
round
He was just
two.
tired. Other Byakuya is like, you're not strong
Well, I
enough
like
right
the
now.
limiters went off and everybody else went for like a jumping technique. They're like, oh, we're just going to start like going after all the other captains. We're going to use teamwork. Only the Byakuya is like, I'm going to go solely after the Byakuya.
1v1
heat-seeking
rematch.
missile.
Yeah. It's like that's his sole goal is like,
he
oh,
has
you want
to
me to do this?
reclaim his honor.
Well, there can only be one Kuchiki, so I got to go do that
There's
first.
two things a Byakuya does. He walks down, explains how he won the fight from a fucking far, coming down a nice staircase. He's got to look at everyone.
You notice they did that a lot, by the way? They did
every
that
time.
a lot, where it's like you would be in the middle of something, they would cut away, and then you would come back in the future, and then they would cut back.
Yep.
They did that a lot.
They did it really well with the Mayuri thing.
that one was really
But
good,
the only thing that sucked about that is I still don't understand what he did to kill his
But
second.
I wouldn't classify the Mayuri thing as that example because I would say that's more of a regular flashback because the Mayuri thing happened so long ago.
Gotcha.
It's not like we were just following the Mayuri thing and then
yeah.
it cuts and jumps forward. I'm talking about like they did the same thing. Let's go rescue Ichigo, and then
Oh,
Ichigo
yeah.
goes back,
Yep.
and then we jump back to see how they do it. It's like, oh, well, why did we skip? Like, just show us how we were doing it then.
Yeah, Byakuya is back. Oh, by the way, like 5 minutes ago, I just did the exact same thing my clone did 5 seconds earlier, and
just won. Yeah, I just won.
There was
easy.
They did not know how to write that one.
Well, even when it's not happening, it's like when they do the Bankai and they both go. Just like it's like how are they gonna like what
exactly?
What,
I've seen him eat that fucking attack multiple
it's
times
just petals.
and he never died.
And it's like he killed Hitsugaya the same way, by the way, just flooding him with petals. It's just like,
well, Hitsugaya is a little bitch.
He is a little bitch, that is for sure. And why did Yoruichi not take out like? Obviously, I didn't see the Momos reappear, but did she take out the Momos?
Yeah, she destroyed the Momos.
Okay.
She fucking kicked them and they died instantly.
So why was Yoruichi not then just going around and being the reverse Kagerosa and destroying
Just
all of the
wrecking
mod soul
everybody?
things? Because clearly she had the read on it.
Well, because she got her lesbian bitch there.
Yeah.
And she's just like, hey.
She did pull hard freeing everybody, and I
Yeah,
like
she
even
did.
Kagerosa was like, fair play, I
Yeah.
couldn't find you.
She's too
That's good.
fast.
Yep.
I don't like the main bad guy because I feel like they picked and choose who they wanted to duplicate. They're like, we're just gonna get all the fucking lieutenants, and I brought it up
every
earlier.
character that we've met so far.
Urahara showed up in the fucking precipice world
this
multiple
is the
fucking
segment
times.
of the podcast where Josh brings up a dumb argument.
But
Go ahead.
he didn't fucking copy Yoruichi. He didn't copy fucking Urahara. I would have just liked
They
to
said
see
why they didn't copy Yoruichi.
because in the back end
Yeah.
filler
Yeah,
bullshit.
because she was a kitty.
I did. She's just a cat, and she's just a real cat.
They said that he does have a copy, but it's just a cat.
Yep.
So because
I
that's
would've
how
loved
she,
to see
that's
her.
how she entered.
I would have loved him always coming up. Well, you've caught on to my plan, petting a fucking fake Yoruichi.
And he's bald now.
Oh, I would have loved that. So, what did he do? He turned to shadow at one point and then came down, and they never explained what happened, right?
Oh yes, they don't.
He
they don't explain that. I have no
Okay.
idea.
Yeah.
I did pass out at once, and I felt like I had missed something.
I feel like he always falls asleep between 3 and 4.
It is very true.
He does it on purpose.
It
I
is
don't
not
wanna
on
have this
purpose.
conversation.
I was-
You know, Here's what I'm saying. Okay, there's nothing to do with Bleach.
Oh no.
When you know you're getting tired, you know you're getting tired.
Yep.
And I could not combat
And you chose. Josh gets up from the couch to go lay on the ground.
Yeah, he
and
took
get
my
more
spot.
comfy. And it's like, oh, we both knew. Jose was like, he's gonna fall asleep.
You could have cuddled with me, mate.
It's like we both knew. It's like he's like, yep.
You guys don't have a couch bed.
No, exactly. I was paying attention the whole time, and then I saw him pull the string, and then I woke up, and he's just basically like, "Oh, what the fuck? This is a piece of shit." I'm like, "Oh, she's a Soul Reaper now." That's the only thing.
Yeah,
but
you missed a whole episode then.
I feel like it. I was paying attention halfway through, and
you
I
didn't
never
miss
fell
much
asleep.
in that episode. That's the real world.
That was
stuff.
it was like almost like a filler where they were like, oh, we're like back to normal.
They literally
even though
let Orihime cook.
we
That's about
lost
it.
all of Soul Society. We're just hanging out. Isn't this fun? And then Kohen protected her, and then she awakened her Soul Reaper ability somehow.
I also did realize that Unohana as a Reigai can fucking literally insta-heal anybody.
Yeah.
But the
Boom,
moment
heal.
it's the head captain, it's like, that's going to take a fucking few weeks,
So
mate.
they did talk about in the Battle Above Karakura Town part where she was like, oh, like our healing is more closer to like regular medicine.
Yeah.
It's like, so that's why it takes so long. Meanwhile, Orihime's is broken.
Yeah,
well,
she
but
just heals
Unohana
everything.
was fucking fixing Kiraku and Ukitake just like
But that was
left and right.
Reigai.
Yeah, it was more powerful. More powerful.
You
So-
think the fucking main
Yeah.
bad guy's like, oh, I'm going to make
They're all
her-
more powerful. That's
Yeah.
what they said.
Yeah, I was
Too bad
well,
he didn't know what she really
And
was.
it's like, it's not like he made Wabisuke like physically stronger. He's like, oh, I'm just making Zanbakuto stronger. It's like,
That's true.
It just go around.
He-
Better question, better point is why did they not just bring Orihime to Yamamoto? It's like,
She doesn't know what she can do.
Makes no. They said like Jose said, they have her cooking. It was like,
Also, Sam brought up I'm sorry to keep jumping around. You brought up a great point. Where the fuck are the visors?
yeah.
They could have been there.
Well, like Yamamoto at one point is like, oh, our fighting forces we only have aside from the lieutenants. Ichigo Kurosaki. It's like, it's like, okay, well, let me stop you right there. We got the visors, we got Ishin. Like, where are all they at?
Yeah, we had that.
Hallible.
And did anyone else notice? And I think we did point it out. The Reigai Soi Fon had 2 arms. Totally kosher.
Yep.
Soi
Well, I
Fon
think
also had 2 fucking arms.
I think she does get her arm back.
He's probably
anyways.
healed
Hachi.
by Orihime.
Or Orihime.
I
yeah, there
would
we
like
go.
a fucking episode
Yep.
for that.
Well,
Josh's fillers.
this is a filler. Let's just remember. So,
But they fucking write off Yamamoto's hand like we didn't even know that
He didn't want it
happened.
back,
We
you
just
know.
knew it happened.
That's the potential. He didn't want it back.
Oh,
He's like,
Sasuke.
"This is a mistake."
Yeah.
Okay.
You just remember that mistake for the rest of
Because
his
my
life.
Yuri's coming back. He's like,
Yeah.
I've got some fucking DNA to put in you. No, I'm good, mate.
And then, it should be worth noting, just because I got to bring it back to the bounce, the mod souls are mysteriously missing.
They were there
except
for
one
scene.
Literally,
Yeah,
where it's literally a still scene.
Yeah.
Still scene. It almost looks like they miscommunicated to somebody.
What the fuck, mate?
Yeah.
What-
It's like
what
they were
if
like,
they
yo,
just-
we're not using those guys. And someone was like, oh, well, they're there.
What
Did
if they
they
recycled that scene, right? Kind of like the whole
Dual-
Game of Thrones thing with the Starbucks cup,
Oh.
and they left them there by accident.
Oh, yeah. No,
I doubt it
would-
because they're all different outfits.
I would,
so.
I feel like Bleach is the one fucking show where they change the outfits.
Yeah,
if
that's
they're not.
the only way that I would be too.
By the way, can we talk about the drip Ichigo had when he came in with a gray turtleneck sweater?
Even Code, when he
Yo,
was
yeah.
hanging outside,
Oh,
like
I
with
like
the,
that.
He had like the
coat with the
fucking
with the
original.
fur.
He had
Yeah,
the
yeah,
original,
like the
fucking
original intro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they like that's why I don't think they can really reuse because they are like drawing different outfits constantly.
I do love the outfits
Like
they
even
put Rukia
Chad had
in.
like 3 different outfits.
yeah.
And it's like he's
Orihime
fucking
always
He had
looks
3
Chad.
different
too.
body types too.
Yeah,
apparently.
he was gigantic, slim. Then
Yeah.
he was like a workout skinny cut, and then all of a sudden he's gigantic again.
So do you think Tite was just like, you know what? Fuck any continuity. I'm gonna make sure these motherfuckers have different clothes.
Well, I don't know how like involved.
I don't think he was that
is
involved
with,
because he was pretty
this kinda
busy at
stuff.
that
oh,
point.
that's right, because this is all filler. So the
Yep.
filler people were just like, I want to draw clothes.
Well, I would imagine that should be the whole point of fillers. Like, oh, let's have some fucking fun here. Let's draw some cool clothes. Like, let's
Let's just
have
say
some, do some
Ichigo grew
things.
out his mustache.
And that's why it's
orange.
like I'm saying it's like they're the fillers and it's about mod souls and then they even bring up the mod souls have powers and they're like, yo, don't we have 3 mod souls that have like really
Yeah.
cool powers?
They
Like,
just
what-
wanted. It was like it was like the Starbucks cup. We'll just toss
like
it in there.
wouldn't
real
that
quick.
be cool? It's
It's a
like
little Easter egg.
that'd
for
be
you.
a little cool, huh?
Yeah.
It's
You ever
like,
want to see
nope.
them again?
And even like there's a point where Cohen is like, oh, she has powers and she's a mod soul. It's like, bitch, you know 3 other ones. I know you know 3
Yeah.
other ones.
He's like, or her, where are the other 3?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It's like they either should have just abandoned them completely. I don't know
Yeah.
what the one scene was where they're just hanging out.
I think they legit were like, oh, are we in a filler arc? I can't remember. Like, we got to throw them in, right?
They just went back to bed.
I feel like maybe that's why I'm saying I feel like maybe they originally were going to be in it and they just forgot for a second. Like they changed it and then they somehow forgot they had that one scene where they're in
Yeah.
it.
They're like,
and they're
oh,
like,
it's just one
oh.
scene. Don't
just
worry
do
about it.
all
Just go.
close-ups now forever and never fucking
No one
do
will
a
notice.
headshot.
It's just a second. No one will
Yeah.
notice. Just leave it.
It was up there for like a 30-second
Yeah.
period. But that goes to the fucking point of you saying it looked like cardboard. Like this season has seemed, or this arc has seemed like it's cardboard characters with moving mouths.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah, but I mean that's not like a completely, I don't know, like a Bleach only thing that happens.
No,
like,
I know, but like the combination of like non-talking mod souls just thrown in there real quick, and they're just like, you know what? Let's just do a still image. And fuck, we forgot we cannot use
like
that.
Orihime was like playing with one of them and stuff, and it was like, oh, so that's a little weird that we're just like not gonna mention that they're in there at all or where they've gone.
Have they ever explained mod souls before, or was when Orihime said
tried
what
to
are
when
mod
Kon-
souls?
when Kon
did
was
it
up first
irritate you
introduced.
too?
What?
I got irritated when fucking Orihime was like, what are mod souls anyway? And it's like, I feel like this is something that was discussed at the very beginning.
I would just put that under the exposition part of Bleach, as always.
Well, Bisuke, I forgot what he did, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let me remind you what the mod souls do. And it's like, because they did talk in it obviously quite a bit, like with Kon and stuff. But like, we don't know like the backstory to him. We don't really know anything about that.
All I remember is Kon was mad because he was like in a pile of beads, and that was about it.
That's exactly it. So I just don't know. And judging it, so now they're gonna have these fights, right? Okay, they're gonna have these fights coming up where it's gonna be lieutenants versus captains, basically.
Which is the fucking intro.
Yeah.
Which we were like, oh, that never fucking happened. They're like, you know what, we're gonna make it.
Well,
happen.
it's still not
Don't
gonna
worry.
happen because they show lieutenants fighting Ichigo, which is not gonna be the case. So
Well, they already did that, and they
unless
got
they
glacked
like
immediately.
lose now and then they all get new Reigai bodies, I don't fucking know.
Well, just remember he was Bankai that one time and fucking glacked out like 5 fucking lieutenants.
He did to get them all.
It was just like, what the
fucking
shit?
hell. But it's like this is just gonna be stupid because well, how do you think this is gonna go? Are they going to A, win? Lieutenants are gonna win against the captains, or B, they lose and this is how Nozomi gets like taken and
I don't know.
I think they're gonna lose then
because it
and then
has
she
to
gets taken.
progress the story with the guy in the chair. Like he's gonna
He has
come
to
into play.
talk at some point, right?
They've pretty much showed that Kageroza is kind of like dying. Like he's he's like getting progressively weaker.
Byakuya walks in, he's like, "How's your body doing?"
It's
He's
very
just
similar to fucking Muramasa at this point, where it's like he's getting weaker and weaker. And
I'm glad they cut the Vasto Lorde eating.
God, that was so random.
And so now it's like he's kind of like pushing against time, and he's like, I need Nozomi. I got to get Nozomi.
Time.
Yeah.
He could just rewind it.
So I do feel like they will probably lose here, and then they will bring Nozomi back.
Because from my remembrance, I don't remember her at all. So I mean, obviously the guy that they're kind of talking to is somebody like I think important.
And we do get to see, I guess, the last thing that we end up seeing before we stop watching the episodes is Nozomi kind of gets her powers.
I still don't know what the fuck that sword looks like.
So
it
it's
looks like
a reverse Kylo Ren
Ren
for sure, where the blade is the Kylo Ren T part. But they don't say what it does yet. It looks like it's somehow.
It's like Hanatoro's.
I'm gonna assume that it is similar to Kageroza's ability, where she can store people's stuff in it and then shoot it back out. Like, so she can kind of like, Kageroza can store it in the different portals, and maybe she can store it in her Zanpakuto toe.
I would also
know.
just prefer, because the way you were making it is she had a vacuum.
Yeah.
And like I would just like if she was going around popping his holes.
Yeah.
And just sucking up the hole.
Well, it's like I feel like they're not metagaming enough. They need to go around and be like, hey, everybody shoot me with your thing before I go into battle. Like I'm gonna make one mega laser cannon. And then
that's what they did.
I'll just walk
coach,
in and
I'm gonna
instantly
glack him.
just blast.
And half of Soul Society is gone.
Yeah, it's like, all right, everybody get together, huge blast. I'm gonna suck it.
Spirit bomb it.
Yeah.
That's it.
I did like how Yumichika's just like, you're gonna have to kill her, and everyone's like, okay, we'll all join in. And Ichigo's
Well, I
like,
thought of that instantly when Ichigo was like, oh, this is how Kisuke trained me, was like pushing him to exhaustion. And Kisuke, when he trained Ichigo, was like, yo, I will kill you.
Yeah,
like that was the whole point of
I
it.
love that fight, by the way.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember they did the flashback. I was like, oh,
that was the
fire.
whole point, where he was like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you if you stop.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to do it. And Ichigo just mysteriously forgot that part, as they were all just play fighting.
not a dick, dude.
It's like,
Yeah. I hate when they reuse scenes. Like, I don't mind if you reuse it like a little later. Like, okay, my mind maybe wiped a little. You did it fucking, like, they took copy pasta, a chain of 4 fucking attacks, and they're like, let's put a little bit of attack talking right here, okay, and then we're gonna throw it all back again.
well, I think that was kind of the point where it's like, even like it was Ikaku and Yumichika watching, and they were both like, yeah, what are you guys doing? Like, like you guys are just doing nothing. It's like you guys are hitting her like one time and running away. It's like,
I like how they're the ones of fucking reason. It's
Yeah.
like
They're
they're
the
both
ones with
trash.
well, it's because like Ikaku did a flashback to like him training with Kenpachi, where Kenpachi was just beating the shit out of his sword over and over again, and like even Yumichika was like, yeah, you guys need to like act like you're gonna kill her. Is like you just pretending to fight doesn't do anything for anybody.
I like how he's the only one paying attention to what her sword's doing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
because he has the same style. He's got the suck.
He sucks.
So stupid.
Yeah. I anything else you guys want to talk about? It's getting better. I have a little bit of hope for the arc. I'm gonna
I
keep
think
low
it'll pick up,
expectations.
maybe next time.
They peaked Mayuri.
Yes, they did.
Yes.
Mayuri was
He
fantastic.
went to the restroom, but do you know how he did the light effect on his eyes? little contacts. He literally just squeezed his eye and they popped out. Cool. And I'm like, you had lightning shooting out of it? This guy's fantastic.
Yeah,
he's just amazing. I mean, he extendo arm.
He was the perfect example of like why it's so hard to kind of do like Mayuri or Harvest anybody because they're just fucking the Batman characters.
But
like, oh, I thought of this. I did this. Oh, I made this.
They are also fantastic filler characters because they can literally have any fucking power.
Yeah.
Because he pulled out the potion and I thought, oh, it's going to be the superhuman drug and we're going to get a fucking fight again like this. No, it's something completely different.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that was cool.
And I did like it was specific to kind of like the scientific where he was like, oh, what's the worst thing? It's like, oh, go into oblivion. Well, I fucked your mind. Sorry, mate. It's, like,
it's devastating.
That's fucked up.
I don't know which one would be worse between the two, going completely fucking dumb or living for like thousands of years in your head.
Well, ignorance is bliss. So
yeah.
And it's still weird knowing that the turn back the pendulum arc with Urahara and I can't remember his name, but the mustache.
Tessai.
Yeah. Keto Commander.
I was going there. Yeah. They're like equals.
They're broken.
But fucking they set the trap and Urahara's talking to him. He's like, "We got him, boss." It's like, when did that fucking happen?
I thought they were gonna have like a hacker man battle for a second.
Yeah, that would have been funny.
There was like Kageroza on the computer, like Tessai was on the computer. It's like, oh, we about to have a hacker man battle. Like,
throwing the fucking Reigai Yoruichi, throw the cat at the keyboard.
It was like, oh, interesting. And then they're like, oh, we just separated them. It was like, oh, hey, great job,
But they didn't explain how.
Great job. It's like real fantastic.
And I want to see what the fuck, how they're gonna explain the Dongai or the fucking cleaner.
Or Ichigo passing. Ichigo passing out. And
Ichigo gets rescued from the cleaner somehow.
Because Aizen would like to have fucking words. Like, what the fuck, mate?
It was, I think it was Aang, guys.
It was Mod Soul number 2. He was just saying that there. Yeah.
It's Kone's real body.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's the amalgamation of all of the Mod Souls, and they've saved him because they found the Mod Soul data inside of the cleaner. So
that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. Of course, let us know what you guys think of the Reigai arc down below. It's definitely getting better. I mean, we've been told before the final fight's supposed to be really good, so we'll fucking see how that goes. I do feel like they kind of forget Ichigo's losing power sometimes, and they just keep sending him out to go do things.
I mean, he goes Bankai for no reason.
Nozomi touched him that one time. He's fucking good for the rest of the arc, mate.
Yeah.
So that's a little weird, but I'm looking forward to the rest of it, and hopefully it'll be done very soon because I would like to move on from this.
Yes.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time every Friday for a new episode of Bleach Boys. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe. If you're listening somewhere, of course, leave us a nice review and follow. Do whatever you need to do, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.